no one would commit, and wanted me to apply, attach movie stars. But I never like doing that when the money's not there, and going to a movie star and saying, "We need to be in this movie, would you commit to it so we can raise money?" It's kind of just fishy. And I got tired of that approach. I worked with a couple of different companies trying to do that, and then I gave up and I just said, I'm going to go out for I'm going to raise money myself, Kickstarter. Forget about movie stars. I've got some Parker's a movie star. And just work and make the best film I can with these great actors. And I'm going to work really, really hard to find a great Susan. And so I managed to raise all the money for the film. And then I cast really wide. I put on videotape lots of actresses who were famous and some who were completely new. I met a tremendous number of really talented actresses, but I didn't find anybody who was making me feel really strong about Susan. And then Aubrey had been suggested to me a year before by her agency, CIA, and I didn't really investigate her too much because the previous way of financing the film was falling apart, and I was sick and tired of it, so I kind of just didn't do that. But then, after putting 100 plus women on tape, and still feeling I wasn't getting what I needed, I did a little bit more research on Aubrey and watched a film she was in opposite Mark Plus called Safety Not Guaranteed, and I was immediately struck by her charm, charisma, attitude. And I had already done some other research on films I wasn't that taken with, but I could see in those that she had great professional craft. So while I was watching Safety Not Guaranteed, I emailed her agent, Chris Andrews at CIA, and said, well, okay, I'm making this film for $300,000. This girl wants to be in my movie. Like you said, she might want to be. Let's do it. He got back to me and said, he got back immediately and said, she'll be very excited. Can I give you the script? I said yes. 2 days later, I was on the phone with Aubrey Watson. She wanted to do it. She flew herself to New York, stayed with friends. She was amazing.
All right, we can maybe fit in one or two more questions. I'm trying to dig you out. No? A little quiet afternoon bunch. All right, we'll jump back in.
Yeah, be loud because we can't see.
How long did it take to shoot the film, and how much did it do post-production?
So how long did it take to shoot the film, and how long was post?
21 days of shooting, and so May, June. I think we were done with the picture cut at the end of June, so like 8 weeks of editing. And then most of July I was making music and doing the same.
And finally, final question.
Yeah, as long as we mention the music, that's the big thing where it's so unusual for a body director to score their own film. Like I said, your music is absolutely beautiful. Talk about that process. Does the music come first? How do you
So the question is about the musical composition within the film.
I generally don't make music when I'm not making a movie. My music making has definitely been helped by having the structure of the film. I almost never just make music just for the joy of making music, which is, I do that actually. I sit down with the machine and music sometimes, and it's always shaky and wild. It goes, I never get anything accomplished. But when I have a movie to structure my efforts, I make better music. And that happens sometimes, like in this, the end credit music, for instance, is probably the oldest piece of music, which I wrote during the Kickstarter campaign, and wrote and recorded during, that was late 2013. The script was already there, and I had a feeling about how the end of the film would be emotional. And so I was able to make a piece of music that kind of illustrated that for me. And then I just let it sit there, and all of the rest of the music here kind of comes out of that. There are harmonies and melodies that kind of, they're not very obvious sometimes, but they come out.
Love the opening.
Well, on that note, we do have to wrap up, but I want to say on behalf of the festival, thank you so much for being here throughout all the many years. And thank you